Hey everyone, welcome to another deep dive on The Explainer. Today, we're basically tearing down a digital facade that almost every major brand is hiding behind right now. We're looking at the absolute, unvarnished reality of customer service tech. I mean, if you've ever found yourself literally screaming operator at your phone screen at 11 p.m. because some digital assistant just couldn't grasp a basic request, well, you're going to want to pay close attention. We're exploring a massive paradigm shift happening right now: the death of the traditional chatbot and the rise of genuine AI agents. So let's just get right into it. Okay, let's dive into this. 72%. According to Salesforce's 2024 State of Service report, that is the percentage of customer service chatbot interactions that require human escalation before a query is actually resolved. Think about the sheer magnitude of that failure rate for a second. Literally, 7 out of 10 times, the technology that was designed to save you time completely fails at its main job. Instead of giving you a seamless, self-service experience, it just forces you to jump through automated hoops only to make you wait for a human being anyway. It's incredibly frustrating. And look, when we zoom into specific rapidly digitizing markets, like Bangladesh, for instance, the picture gets even more uncomfortable. Light Castle Partners actually found that only 19% of top enterprises in the country report their chatbots resolving queries without a human handoff. So 81% of the time, the bot just hits a total dead end. But here's the absolute crucial takeaway for any business leader watching: this is not just an IT glitch. This directly fuels what we call silent brand churn. Forrester's data shows us that 60% of customers who hit a dead end on an automated channel, they'll switch to a competitor within 30 days. They don't even complain. They just leave. So here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll be covering 1. The chatbot illusion. 2. Chatbots versus AI agents. 3. The Bangladesh barrier. 4. Execution benchmarks. And finally, 5. The transition framework. All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the chatbot illusion and why we're dealing with the sunk cost fallacy. So we really need to define exactly what a legacy chatbot actually is, just so we can understand why relying on it is, well, a mistake. Fundamentally, it's essentially just a rule-based decision tree dressed up in natural language. It can't look up your specific account. It can't initiate a refund on its own. And it certainly can't, check a delivery status in real time and reroute a package. It's completely reactive. It waits for an input, matches it to a predefined pattern, and spits out a rigidly scripted output. If your question deviates even slightly from that script, the whole system breaks. It's really just a glorified FAQ page pretending to be a conversation. Moving right along to Section 2, chatbots versus AI agents and the architectural shift. Now, what's really interesting about this architectural shift is how vast the divide actually is. An AI agent is categorically not just a smarter chatbot. Actually, think of it this way. A legacy chatbot is like a static library index card. You ask it where a book is, and it points you to an aisle. That's literally all it can do. But an AI agent? That's like having a personal shopper with VIP access to the entire store. It doesn't just tell you a package is delayed. It proactively detects the delay, automatically searches the inventory for alternative options, messages you, offers a discount code for the trouble, and seamlessly updates your shipping address, all in one smooth interaction, completely autonomously. It's a total game changer. MIT's Computer Science and AI Laboratory maps out exactly how this magic happens through something called the agent loop. First, the agent perceives context. It instantly checks your order history, previous complaints, and your account status, without making you repeat yourself. Second, it reasons, using a large language model to figure out the absolute best way to solve your specific problem while sticking to company policies. And third, and this is absolutely crucial, it acts via connected tools. It talks directly to your databases, APIs, and payment gateways to execute the solution. It just repeats this perceive, reason, act loop in real time until your goal is achieved. No human operator required. None. Okay, Section 3, the Bangladesh barrier and dealing with local market reality. Now, if you're operating in South Asia, particularly in Bangladesh, you know your customers aren't typing in perfect textbook English. They type stuff like this: Amar parcel kothai, which translates to where is my parcel. This is Bangladesh. It's a code-mixed blend of Bengali and English, and it completely dominates local internet typing. It's how real people actually communicate online every single day. But here's the rub. When global AI vendors sell their off-the-shelf software, those systems are almost entirely trained on standard formal English text. And this language gap, it creates a massive problem for implementation. Just look at the data from the 2024 Basis Tech Ecosystem Report. It reveals that when standard NLP models try to process Banglish, they lose roughly 40 to 60% of their accuracy. Let that sink in for a second. Literally half the time. The multi-million-dollar global tool a company just bought cannot even accurately understand what the local customer is asking. So localization isn't just some nice-to-have feature or an afterthought. Supporting native code mixed languages like Banglish is an absolute survival requirement if local businesses want to automate support successfully. Which brings us to Section 4 execution benchmarks, looking at Klarna and bKash. Let's look at the global benchmark set by Klarna in early 2024. Their AI agent handled a staggering 2.3 million conversations in a single month. To put that into perspective, that's the equivalent workload of 700 full-time human agents. But here's the really impressive part. The average resolution time for customers plummeted from 11 minutes down to just 2 minutes. But I need to be perfectly clear about why this works so well. It wasn't just some magic AI dropped into a legacy system. Klarna succeeded because they had already invested heavily over years in clean, connected, highly structured data infrastructure and APIs before they ever turned the AI on. Because, if you don't do that back-end work, you run into a terrifying reality. An AI agent connected to broken data infrastructure will confidently do the wrong thing. And honestly, that's way more dangerous than a chatbot that just fails silently. A silent chatbot just annoys a customer, but a proactive AI agent connected to messy data, it might confidently issue 1,000 incorrect refunds. This is exactly why massive local platforms, like bKash in Bangladesh, are sequencing their AI journeys so carefully. bKash prioritizes back-end system connectivity and data integrity first, strictly complying with Bangladesh Bank's regulatory standards before unleashing any autonomous AI. Governance and data integrity just have to come first. All right, final part. Section 5, the transition framework. Here's your actionable 3-phase roadmap for making this shift safely. Phase 1 is audit and scope. You absolutely must start by admitting your current chatbot's real first contact resolution rate. Don't rely on rosy internal estimates. Pull the actual escalation logs and face reality. Then, define strict legal boundaries for what your future agent is allowed to do. Phase 2 is integrate and localize. This is where you connect your APIs and, crucially, invest in local NLP training like Banglish to ensure actual comprehension. Finally, Phase 3 is govern, pilot, and scale. Set up absolute accountability protocols. Test the agent on one low-risk, high-volume use case like order tracking for 90 days before you even think about scaling it to handle returns or payments. Making this transition requires a completely new toolkit for leadership. CXOs and marketers, we need to learn some truly uncomfortable new skills. First, you have to learn how to read AI failure logs to diagnose why an agent went rogue. You can't just outsource that understanding to IT anymore. Second, you need a baseline understanding of API integrations so you know exactly what systems are talking to each other. Third, you have to develop rigid AI governance frameworks, because if an AI makes a financial error, someone has to be legally accountable. And finally, stop just measuring general customer satisfaction. You need to start measuring the customer effort score, or CES. You need to know if your AI is actually reducing friction for the user, or just adding a shiny new digital barrier. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a vital, somewhat provocative question that sums up everything we've talked about today. Is your data infrastructure truly ready to automate, or are you simply preparing to automate your broken processes faster? Remember, a well-trained human support team will always outperform a poorly integrated AI. You have to fix your foundation first, respect the local language barriers, and only then let the AI agent do what it does best. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer, and keep learning.